Hi everyone, it's Brenda back again with another episode of Three Uniques. I'm really excited today to introduce you to Tanya Oliva. She is a personal finance educator, a financial wellness advocate, and an expert money coach. Welcome, Tanya.
Awesome to be here, Brenda. Thank you so much for this unique opportunity.
Yes, I'm really excited to have you on. And do you want to share a little bit more about yourself?
For sure. Well, I'm born and raised Vancouver. I now live in Campbell River, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. And prior to my current career, I was 20 years in the corporate world, working for leading companies across Canada in the areas of public relations, marketing, and community investment. So that is my past.
Awesome. And so you're here today to share your three uniques with us. So let's hear it.
Well, my three uniques, which are going to come out of left field for some people, but we will talk about them. The first is that I am FinSmart. The second one is I am a race car driver. And the third one is I walk the talk and I talk the walk.
All right. So I need to ask you, how did you come up with those before we get into them?
Well, you know, they're all interconnected. So approximately, literally 20 years ago to the day, starting in September of 2000, and over the span of the next 12 months, I experienced a personal, professional, and financial meltdown. On the personal front, I was ending an abusive marriage. On the professional front, I went through the loss of my very first highly prized career position as a result of an unexpected corporate restructure. And finally, just as I was starting to look for a new job, the dot-com crash hit. And every job I applied for or was interviewing for at the time literally disappeared overnight. And a massive hiring freeze hit the economy for the next 6 months. And you know, Brenda, it really felt like my life was imploding. And here we are today in September 2020. And sadly, you know, my experience 20 years ago is very similar to what many people are experiencing today as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really insightful. And I'm glad that you were able to share that with our audience, because I think a lot of people are being challenged this year, challenged to like their core as far as their belief system. It's not just about maybe losing a job or seeing the financial risk or even the health risk, right? You know, for themselves or for their family or friends. But it's actually shaking them to the core, because we're seeing obviously, you know, political unrest, societal unrest. There's a lot of things that are surfacing for people. So thanks for sharing that.
Yes, and we'll hear more about it, because, you know, this is really what leads me into what my uniques mean. And for me, it was a truly shattering experience. And 20 years ago, I had to start to claw my way back to my potential, you know, to my worth, and also to the life that I wanted to create for myself. And as you said, you know, our beliefs, it really comes down to our mindset, you know, how we think about things.
Awesome. So let's hear about your three uniques. So you mentioned FinSmart. I need to know about that. What's that?
Well, let me explain. So as you know, I mentioned a personal, professional, and financial meltdown. And so when I was experiencing the financial element, I had to really change how I thought about money. I was broke, literally not going to be able to pay my mortgage. And the only thing I could do was change my mindset about money. And as you are fully aware, our mindset is the lens through which we view the world. You know, and 80 to 90% of our behavior, you know, our daily actions and our decisions are guided by our subconscious mind. And it was interesting, I was on a webinar not too long ago with Dr. Shannon Irvine, and she's a doctor of neuropsychology in California. And she defines how our brain influences our cognition and behavior. So it's kind of like putting it all together, but FinSmart is ultimately my mindset about money. It's about being financially smart. You know, it's the opposite of being financially stressed. Right. So I have created the mindset about how to manage my money by becoming FinSmart. And as a result, I have created a whole encore career based on my journey of, you know, the financial clawback that I've had over the last 20 years, to the point where I have now reached financial independence. You know, before I was 50, I became financially independent, and now I'm able to share my genius around being FinSmart with women around the world.
So awesome. And for you to have gone through that 20-year journey, I'm sure part of your mission now is to help women not necessarily go through 20 years, but to shorten that gap, right? And to be FinSmart earlier.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things we know about finances is that there's a lot of expert advice out there. There's a lot of basic principles that people need to know. But as you know, in our society, we are all taught how to make money. We're not taught how to manage money. And managing your money is within your control. And this is why it's so important. And so, yes, I teach all of the basic principles, the best practices, and of course, the mindset to help people become financially secure and eventually, you know, financially independent and free.
That's so awesome. I went through sort of a similar type journey. I think back when we don't teach people how to manage money. I remember going through like a consumer ed class in grade 9. And I think that was really the last time anyone had ever sat down with me and talked to me about how to manage money. You know, I'd set up bank accounts, obviously, and I had put in money into RSP planning because my company was doing a program and they were matching things. And so, but, you know, I was just more or less signing a form. I wasn't really thinking and knowing and like projecting out and thinking about my financial viability, like from when I'm 25 to when I'm 55. So that's awesome that you're starting to bring that to the world. And
yes, thank you.
And your second unique.
My second unique is that I am a race car driver. And, you know, just like my money mindset, I created this as my manifestation mindset. And it's a true story. Again, going back 20 years ago, I was literally leaving my corporate job for the last time. I was leaving the office and I picked up my Palm Pilot. I was able to keep that. And I have, you know, Tanya Oliva, public relations manager. Even before I left the office, and I don't know even how it came to me, but I deleted the title public relations manager and I installed aspiring race car driver. And this had to be my mindset for how I was going to regain control of my life. As I mentioned, a personal, professional meltdown at the same time. I felt out of control. I felt lost. I felt vulnerable. And by changing my mindset about who I was and how I was gonna, you know, show up in the world, I wanted to be in control. I wanted to be in the driver's seat. So because I was still out of control, I was an aspiring race car driver. And it only took 2 years for me to graduate into being the race car driver I knew I could be. And quite honestly, Brenda, this has been my mindset for 20 years. And now I am on a mission to create a tribe of race car drivers around the world.
So great. So great. And your third unique?
My third unique is that I walk the talk and I talk the walk. So with regards to being FinSmart and being a race car driver, I am now able to share that experience and my genius with the world through my company, FinSmart, Financial Smarts to Live Your Best Life. I started it June 2019. I was able to achieve my accredited financial counselor designation. And in addition to a lot of online learning and just based on my own personal experience and the systems that I created to get my finances in order, I am now delivering that to the world through a new online course that I will be launching this November.
Amazing. And so you'll send us the link to that so that when we're tagging you in all of our posts for this interview today, we'll be able to share that with people.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm doing a founders launch to start. So I've just got that out there. I'm not doing any paid advertising at this point, but I've been circulating it with my personal and professional networks because I'm having a webinar next weekend on October 3rd and 4th where people can actually register and learn more about the course that I'll be offering. And then I'll be going into a much broader public launch in early 2021.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely share that for you. So a question I have for you, because I think this is going to be so relevant to what you've been talking about and sharing with us, is what would you do if you knew you could not fail?
You know, I have to say that that's my mindset. First of all, I'm financially independent, so I really don't have anything to lose at this point. I only want to serve. I want to bring my genius to women who could really use my help and benefit from my knowledge, skills, and passion. But let me just take it back to my beloved mother. She is truly my hero, and she lives with me in spirit every single day. And when I was a young child, she always told me, Tanya, they can only say yes or no. What have you got to lose? So I always went after anything that I desired. And, you know, I never hung on to it. I never thought if it didn't come through, if I didn't get a return call, or if they did say no, I never considered that a failure. I just moved forward onto the next thing. And as an example, over the last 5 years, you know, I took 3 years off after my corporate career. And in the last 2 years, where I've been actively seeking, what is my purpose? What is the next thing I want to bring to this world? I put out probably 200 things, like whether it's a job application or a conversation, to find my next path. What path was I going to go? Well, guess what? It took probably 200 things to land where I am today. And now I know I'm on the right path. So I don't believe in failure. I believe in destiny. I believe in the universe. I mean, I know that's getting more spiritual, but let me just share that I believe everything does happen for a reason, and not just a reason, but for the best reason. And I accept it. So that's my mantra, and that's my mindset.
Amazing. What advice would you give to anybody that is starting to define or discover those three uniques for the first time?
You know, we all are unique. I love when I say to people that personal finance is personal. And one of the things that's really important is that we don't compare ourselves to others, because we'll never be good enough if we're trying to compare ourselves to others. Think of what strengths, what passion, and this is what I teach my clients. We all have a genius zone. You know, you or anyone we know, maybe someone's great at knitting, and they then can share that wonderful craft with other people. Other people might love, you know, photography or animals. Whatever your passion is in life, for me, that's where you can find joy. And I challenge everyone to look at what brings them joy, and then from there, they can discover what makes them unique.
So awesome. Tanya, thank you so much for being on today. We really appreciate you sharing your three uniques with us and just your journey. It's been so inspiring hearing your story today.
Well, I truly appreciate it, Brenda. You are doing an amazing service here today, and I really do thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks. And for everyone that's listening, please tune in, watch Tanya. Like, she's got an amazing program, I think, that's coming down the pike. So, you know, we'll make sure that we share all the links so that you can subscribe or find out more about her. And for everyone that's listening, just remember to get your three uniques out there. I think by having folks like Tanya come on and share their three uniques with us is really inspiring. But hopefully it also inspires action, because I think that the least that you could do is, you know, obviously apply for a job or talk to a recruiter, but the most that you could do is get your three uniques out to the world. You're going to discover connections that you never knew you thought you had. So thanks again, Tanya, and take care, everyone.